Hi everybody, this is Steve. I'm wrapping up my UltraDeck Fusion project, my material I bought from Menards, and I was hoping to provide some information that you could find helpful so you wouldn't have to suffer through some of what I suffered through putting this together. I'm not a decking professional or a carpenter professional, just a average do-it-yourself kind of guy. So the first thing has to do with these T-clips that you use between the deck pieces to hold them down. So the information online says you put it into the slot and you run it down, but what you find is the clip doesn't actually sit square flush on the 2x6. So as you try to run it down, the clip wants to rotate, it wants to tip. You get inconsistent rundown on these screws as you try to run it down. So what we discovered was by using a spare piece of decking and kind of sandwiching the clip to the one you're running down, that holds the clip vertical. It holds it square. And it really makes the job go a lot faster if you have one guy kind of hold the spare piece and then the other guy run down the screw. It really makes the job go a lot faster. Another thing that I discovered was with some plastic materials, when you try to use a jigsaw on it, you get kind of a ragged edge. Now my crosscut saw and my table saw did real nice, but the jigsaw kind of left a kind of a ragged edge there, right? So I've used this process before on other plastics that I've cut, that you put down a piece of tape, duct tape or something like that, and then what you find is instead of a ragged edge, if I pull this back, what you'll see is you end up with a very clean edge. So it works out pretty nice, huh? Alright, so another tip is, something I want to mention on the T-clips real quick. So if you want a very narrow gap between your boards, you might want to think about the metal clips. These T-clips give you about a 1/4 inch between the boards, which might be more than you want. I think it looks pretty nice, but if you want a very narrow gap between the boards, then you should probably think about the metal clips, not the plastic T-clips. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about was, it is very necessary, and folks were posting a lot of information about clamping the boards together before you actually run them down, and then it's kind of smacking this outside edge so that you can hold them together. You need to do that, otherwise they kind of bounce around. But what do you do when you get to the edge of your deck? Well, what I discovered was I made a little tool here using some L brackets that I had, and then using the clamps with the existing decking. You could kind of squeeze things together to kind of hold it so they wouldn't pop out versus pushing them apart, which is what most of the videos showed. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please leave me a comment. Thanks.